The illegal rise of Spotify. Imagine a world where music was once sacred, bought in stores, cherished in jewel cases. Then suddenly, it was all free. Torrents ruled. Napster tore the music industry apart. The system collapsed. And just when chaos peaked, a new player emerged. Polished, legal, too good to be true. But what if I told you it wasn't just too good to be true? It was a calculated deception? This is the illegal rise of Spotify. Chapter 1. The Pirate in a Suit. It was 2006 in Stockholm, Sweden, and Daniel Ek was no ordinary 23-year-old. While most were finishing university, he had already made millions building online businesses. But his most infamous creation? uTorrent, a lightweight software that became the engine of global music piracy, downloaded by millions. It allowed people to illegally share music, movies, and software with ease. Ek wasn't just a coder. He was a digital anarchist, a quiet rebel who understood how to break systems and build new ones. But Ek was done being the guy in the shadows. He wanted more than respect in hacker circles. He wanted to own the very industry he once helped dismantle. That's when he teamed up with Martin Lorenzon, a fellow Swedish entrepreneur and co-founder of Trade Doubler. Together, they envisioned a future where music was fast, easy, legal, and addictive. The plan? Spotify, an on-demand music streaming service offering unlimited access to a massive library of songs. No more downloads, no more piracy. But behind this sleek vision was a massive problem. They didn't have a single licensing deal in place. So how did they plan to fix it? By doing something no pirate had ever done before. Partner with the enemy. Chapter 2. The Equity Hustle. In 2008, Spotify launched in Europe with millions of songs. On day one. How? They didn't pay massive upfront licensing fees like Apple or Amazon. Instead, they gave away shares of the company. Universal, Sony, Warner, the big three labels, got 18% equity. Indie labels, a token 1%. It was genius and sinister. This meant labels didn't need Spotify to be profitable. They just needed its stock price to explode. So when Spotify went public years later, labels cashed out $2.6 billion. Artists, they got none of it. Because the labels owned the equity. The creators got crumbs. Spotify wasn't just partnering with the labels. It was buying silence. Chapter 3. The Artists Strike Back. Magnus Uggla, a Swedish rock icon, was among the first to pull out. After 6 months, he said he earned what a street performer makes in one day. Bob Dylan pulled his catalog too. Tom York from Radiohead called Spotify the last desperate fart of a dying corpse. Harsh? Maybe. But not wrong. Because here's the kicker. Spotify wasn't designed to pay artists fairly. It was designed to keep labels happy and users addicted. The royalty system was so complex, so opaque, that even million-stream indie artists barely paid rent. Spotify's revolution was built on creators who never got invited to the victory parade. Chapter 4. America and the Napster Connection. Spotify's golden ticket to America? Sean Parker, the same man who co-founded Napster and helped cripple the record industry a decade earlier. Now, he was Spotify's ambassador. In 2011, Spotify launched in the US, but not without more shady deals. Labels demanded massive advances under airtight NDAs. Some reports claim labels paid as little as $10,000 total for their equity. It was a corporate shakedown, and Spotify paid the toll. Why? Because Ek didn't care about profit. He wanted dominance. He once said, "We're going to grow first and figure out money later." Translation: burn cash, gain power, then rewrite the rules. Chapter 5. Fake Artists, Real Profits. Fast forward to the late 2010s. Spotify starts pushing mood-based playlists. Peaceful piano, sleep sounds, lo-fi chill. But something was off. Journalists discovered that many of these tracks came from fake artists. No social media, no shows, no fans, just names like Deep Watch or White Ocean. Spotify allegedly commissioned these tracks through ghostwriters and producers, then paid lower royalties or none at all. It was the perfect scam. Flood playlists with royalty-light content. Save millions, suffocate real artists. Spotify denied it, but evidence mounted. By 2021, over 500 fake artists had been tracked. It wasn't illegal, but it was a betrayal of the art form. Chapter 6, Discovery Mode, the new payola. Then came Discovery Mode. Spotify told artists, want your music boosted in the algorithm? Take a pay cut. This was legalized payola, a bribe dressed as a feature. Struggling musicians, desperate for exposure, opted in, slashing their already tiny royalties. Congress got involved, investigations followed. Spotify claimed it was an opportunity, but to critics, it was extortion. Pay to play, Algorithm Edition. Chapter 7, the lawsuits they don't want you to know about. Spotify's early growth wasn't just shady, it was possibly illegal. In 2017, Wixen Music sued Spotify for $1.6 billion, accusing it of using thousands of songs without proper licenses. Spotify had tried to cover its tracks, literally, by settling class action lawsuits and quietly paying out pennies on the dollar. It got so bad that US lawmakers had to intervene. The Music Modernization Act of 2018 was born, just to fix the chaos Spotify helped create. Spotify didn't license everything. It launched first, apologized later. Classic, move fast, break things, and pay settlements. Chapter 8, the direct upload that never was. In 2019, Spotify did something radical. It allowed artists to upload music directly. No label, no distributor. For a moment, it looked like Spotify would empower musicians. Then, silence. Months later, the program was abruptly canceled. Why? Industry insiders whispered the truth. Labels weren't happy. And when labels get mad, music disappears. Spotify folded. Once again, the platform bowed to its real masters. Chapter 9, a legacy written in shadows. Today, Spotify controls 30% plus of the global music market. Over 500 million users hit play every day. It's hailed as a savior. But its origin story? It's soaked in controversy. From giving away company equity, to ghost-producing fake music, to lawsuits, lobbying, and silencing dissent. Spotify's rise wasn't just innovative, it was strategic warfare. And the casualties were artists, the creators, the dreamers. Spotify didn't break the law outright, but it danced in the gray, and it built an empire on the backs of people who never got a seat at the table. So next time you open Spotify and press play, ask yourself, whose pockets are you filling? And whose story was silenced so you could listen for free? Because Spotify didn't just change music, it rewrote the rules of who profits from creativity and who gets played.